I'm Mike Uyak. I love to try new things, and I've had culinary adventures all around the world as well as right at home. I've had really wonderful food, as well as some really horrible food. I'd like to share some of my adventures with you, and we'll see if I have what it takes to fix whatever goes wrong. This is Recipe Redemption. Howdy everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Recipe Redemption. Today we're going to be talking about Cincinnati Chili. I've only heard about this maybe about a decade ago, because a coworker of mine came from the Midwest and Ohio specifically, and he raved on and on about the Cincinnati Chili and how it was different from any other chili that he'd had since he'd left home, and he really missed having his chili over spaghetti like he did back home. And I said, what? Over spaghetti? Yes, that is one of the ways that Cincinnati chili is served. But first, here's how you make it.
Okay, so this starts off with actually browning about a half a cup of tomato paste in a dry pan. And this seems kind of counterintuitive, made me a little nervous, but I can see where they're going with this. They don't want to add any extra liquid to this, if at all possible, but they do want to develop a little bit more flavor by caramelizing some of this tomato paste. So it's going to look something like that. It will stick to the bottom. You want it browned, but not burnt. Then just add a cup and a half of water here and deglaze the pan, stir it around, scrape up all the brown bits off the bottom. Once that's done, continuing over medium heat, add a pound of ground beef straight into the water and sort of chop it up. This will take a little bit, but you want to break this up until you get a meat slurry, something like this. At which point you can add your seasonings, which include kosher salt, cumin, cinnamon, garlic powder, allspice, cloves, red pepper flake, and black pepper. Scoop that in there. Forgot to mention chili powder. That goes in there as well, along with some Worcestershire sauce. I'm just adding that to give it a little extra umami. Stir that in, and then add about half an onion and a couple cloves of garlic, all diced up. And bring this to a simmer. Then lower the heat and let that cook for 3 hours. Covered. Now after 3 hours, it's not going to look any different, but it is different. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and this is an optional addition here, an ounce of dark chocolate, and just stir that in until it melts. This is going to give it a little extra something something.
So now that you have this chili slash meat sauce, and really it is kind of sort of a bolognese in a way, kind of, and with the optional, some say optional, addition of the chocolate, it pushes it almost kind of in a sort of meaty mole direction, which is kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to tasting this. Now, it's, as I mentioned earlier, traditionally served atop spaghetti. The other way that it can be done is a chili dog. So I'm doing both today. Now, this is pretty plain, but there are other ways, and there's a play on words here, other ways to eat this. Now, you can have, this is what they call a two-way. So this is spaghetti plus the chili. Three-way is with cheese. So I'm going to sprinkle a little cheddar cheese on here. Dun, dun, dun. If you like a four-way, it's with chopped onion. So I'm going to sprinkle a little of that on there too. And that is appropriate on the hot dog as well. If I can break these up. There we go. And if you want your Cincinnati chili 5 ways, you add beans. I don't know if I really want to put that on the hot dog, but heck with it, I'm going to do it. So, also optional, oyster crackers. Weird thing, I went to the store, I could not find oyster crackers anywhere. So I have goldfish. And this looks like something a child built, a child cooked. But it's what I'm going to eat. Let's give it a shot. Twirl some spaghetti, get some sauce, some cheese, maybe. Well, I am clearly not Italian. I have a failing this. All right, let's get some onion on here. All right. Mm. The flavor's honestly a lot more subtle than I was expecting. Let's see, get a little of that without the onion, because the onion is actually overpowering it. Mm. The spicing lends a very definite earthiness to it. You get the beefy sort of meatiness of it, but yeah, really earthy. Because I used a relatively high cacao content chocolate. It's not too sweet. It didn't add a whole lot of sweetness to it. Nothing that I can detect anyway. The optional add-ons just add little notes. As I said, the onion is a little strong, but yeah, yeah, I'm down with serving this over pasta actually, and because you make the beans an option, it really is just a meat sauce that you're putting over the pasta. So it's not as weird if you don't think of it as chili, but more as a sauce. Let's try the hot dog. I'm going to be a heretic here and actually eat the hot dog with a fork. This is kind of messy. Mm. That is a 100% acceptable chili dog. Mm. I tend to like my chili dogs, or the chili on my chili dogs, to be a little spicier, but it's perfectly fine. And it's it ended up being a fairly smooth meat sauce. Managed to break up the beef into very, very small chunks. It's why you kind of mix it into a slurry at the very beginning, and then it just breaks down further during cooking. So you don't end up with, kind of meatballs in your chili. This is actually quite delicious. Is this going to completely replace my standard Southwest style chili? No, but I won't say that I won't make this again either. For a change of pace. The flavor is actually quite enjoyable. So I encourage you to give it a try and let me know what you think of Cincinnati style chili. Leave your comments down below, and as always, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you again next time here on Recipe Redemption. Bye now.